Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox. I would like to welcome you to the Sunday Book Review. The Sunday Book Review is the series where I discuss books which impact the compliance practitioner, the legal professional, and the business professional. I hope you will enjoy this episode. Now, a quick word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
Are your compliance efforts fragmented and cumbersome? Ethico's integrated disclosure solution is your answer. By unifying your processes, we bring clarity and efficiency to your compliance operations. Just imagine a system that not only streamlines, but also enhances your ability to make informed decisions. It's time to move away from scattered efforts to a cohesive, powerful compliance strategy. Discover the power of integration with Ethico. Start at ethico.com/CPN to book your demo and delve into our exclusive white paper by Tom Fox, The ROI of Compliance. And you can also utilize our free ROI calculator. Unify, simplify, and amplify your compliance efforts today.
Today on the Sunday Book Review, we take a look at 4 books on fraud and fraud prevention. We begin with Fraud, the Counter-Fraud Practitioner's Handbook by Doig. This book looks at fraud investigation method and explores the practical options for preventing and remedying fraud. An effective fraud and financial crime strategy involve intelligence and prevention, criminal and civil legal processes, asset recovery. Your strategy depends on the outcomes you are seeking and the nature of the fraud or crime committed and the countries involved. Fraud provides a clear picture of the role of compliance, civil and criminal legal proceedings on any fraud strategy. Written by and for practitioners, it is a handbook that deals with the knowledge, detail, and craft that underpins anti-fraud work. Next up, Practical Fraud Prevention, Fraud and AML Analytics for FinTech and E-Commerce by Gilit, Saporta, and Shoshana Maraney. Over the past 2 decades, the booming e-commerce and fintech industries have become a breeding ground for fraud. Organizations that conduct business online are constantly engaged in a game of cat and mouse. In this book, the authors draw on their fraud-fighting experience to provide the best practices, methodologies, tools to help you detect and prevent fraud and other malicious activities. This book will give you the tools to help prevent and fight fraud. Next up, Fraud Investigation Reports in Practice, Convenience and Corporate Crime by Gottschalk. Investigative reports are often written by fraud examiners after the completion of internal reviews in organizations where there was a suspicion of financial wrongdoing. Fraud examiners are expected to answer questions regarding what happened, when it happened, why it happened, and how it happened. This book presents a number of case studies of investigation reports by fraud examiners, offering a framework for studying the report as well as insights into the convenience of fraud. The book is a valuable resource for scholars and upper-level students researching and studying, auditing, and investigative work in corporate and public sectors. Business and management, as well as criminal justice scholars and students, will learn from case studies on how to frame a white-collar incident by application of convenience theory going forward. And our final book is A Short Guide to Fraud Risk. The authors, Martin Samociuk and Nigel Iyer. This book is for anyone who needs a better understanding of fraud risk, either company-wide or in a specific business unit. Directors and managers who would like to add value by building fraud resistance into their organizations and to demonstrate to a wide variety of stakeholders they are managing fraud risks rather than simply reacting. This book gives a concise but thorough introduction to the risk of fraud based on a 6-element strategy. It contains practical steps to assess fraud awareness in your organization going forward. I hope you'll join me again next Sunday for another edition. This month's sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico, and I've paired with Ethico to put together a white paper on the ROI of compliance, while Ethico has made available an ROI calculator. Check out both in the show notes. Also, I'm excited to announce a very interesting new limited podcast series, the FCPA Survival Guide. If you find yourself or your company in an FCPA enforcement action, this book tells you how to get the best result possible. Another new podcast is Culture Crafters, where together with Sam Silverstein, we talk about corporate culture and how to improve it. If you have a category of books you'd like explored on the Sunday Book Review, please shoot me an email at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. The Sunday Book Review is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.